Hey crew, so in today's tutorial I am going to do something a little bit unique. Here, let me put something here so that the camera can focus on. I am going to use a palette. This is an artist palette, and this is something that a lot of you have probably seen. This is something that was used in oils, acrylics. Bob Ross used one of these, so I'm going to create something. Instead of planets, I'm going to use this as a stencil, as this main stencil. So as always, I'm going to use a little bit of black just to kind of get the outline of where this is going to be located. You don't need a whole lot of spray. Remember, you just need a little bit, just so you get an understanding of what space you need to fill in. Sometimes you can create a lot more layers, some very bright colors, and then not even get to use them, because notice all the space that we have here, all this negative space. So that's why I like to place down our stencil. That way I have a good idea of where my colors are gonna go, and so on and so forth. Alright, so let's get started. I'm gonna add a little bit of yellow here. I'm just gonna go all the way down, and then I'm gonna use some orange. Okay. Oh, no, I see a little dirt. Alright. Nice. Alright, so I'm gonna use some red. Nice, I love this color, this transitional color. So we're going from yellow to orange to red. And now we're going to use a little bit of black. I like to do this at the very end, right about here, just so that it gives us a better understanding, a better visual of how the transitional works. And then here we can create maybe some land in the background. I'm still not very sure what we're going to do there, but we'll figure it out. Alright, now on this bottom part, I believe I'm going to use some blue. All the way down to the bottom. You know what? I'm going to add a little bit of white on top of that. Now you guys know what I'm going to do, right? That's right. Handy dandy finger. Alright, I'm just going to move it back and forth a couple of times. Going to get those colors to really blend. Now I'm also counting on this. I'm going to get some of this black from the top, and just kind of blend that in, and that'll give us a little darker color, a little darker blue. And we're just going to smear that all the way down to the bottom. Alright, that's good. That's good enough right there. Alright, now I'm going to use a little bit of black. This is my new handy dandy tool. It's actually rubber, very much like our tools there. Alright, use this right here. We're going to use our black. Now notice I try and stay consistent with the spots where if I use yellow here, I'm going to use yellow here, orange here, white here, green here, which as you can see I like to blend my green with my yellow a lot, which is no longer needed because now I have my own lime green, right? Okay, so we're going to use a little bit of black here. Let's just create a nice little mountain here. Very easy way to create mountains. Maybe I can place this right here so that I don't have to keep crossing the camera. Alright, now this was going to be a live tutorial that I was going to do with you folks, but I keep losing internet connection, and I don't want to do a multi-several episode. So we're going to pre-record it here. Alright. Pretty easy, right? You guys can do this. Alright, look at that. Now you can use a little bit of red and kind of blend some of those colors in there as well. let's do that. Here we go. I don't have a spot for red, so we'll make one right there. Now this is what I do to clean the tool. Very easy to do. You just kind of wipe it clean on the side there. Just gonna add a little bit of red because there is some red in the background, and then we're probably gonna mix a little bit of orange in there as well. Now notice how this tool can allow you to manipulate the layers and blending conditions. Alright, so I am now going to use some red. I'm just going to place that right here on the edges just to kind of create highlights. Well, this is actually going to be our middle tones. Middle tones are not quite highlights, but if you use them, they will make your highlights stand out a little bit more. So I'm just gonna add some of those right there. Okay, now I'm gonna use some orange. Oh, that's red. Alright, well, I'm gonna have to choose a new spot for my orange right there. Notice that right there? Clean. Alright, let's come over here. Start working some of these colors. Right about there. And maybe we have a little bit of sunlight hitting this side of the mountain. Perhaps maybe a little bit here. Now, if you get too much orange on there, you can always blend it in, kind of like what I did here. Sorry, folks. Now this mountain's starting to take shape, right? Just highlights makes all the difference. Highlights, midtones. Just gonna add a little bit of orange here on the water. Now this is very easy to do. Just add, tap, and smear side to side. Okay. Alright, so look at that. We have a nice little background. We have a nice little mountain there. Perhaps we can add a touch of white. This can create a nice little cloudy effect. Now, you notice how we cover some of this here on the bottom? That's no problem. We're going to use our clear coat. Clear coat to the rescue. I should have used more clear coat. Alright, let's... Alright. Now let's just blend that together. Pretty nice, huh? Okay, I need to get some of these blended colors down to the very bottom because I can still see the outline and I want to make sure I catch it. Okay. The outline of our palette, which comes down through here and then it goes up that way. Alright, so now that we have that, we can create a nice little... Oh, let me clean the tip of our spray can. And let's practice here. I'm going to create a... Oh, no, that's too much. Okay, this is too new. And when it's too new, it has a tendency... Now, there we go. Alright, we'll just add a little quick burst to create a nice little sun. Now, I know it's not a little rounded. I moved my hand at the end. That's no problem. Alright. So, that's what we've created so far. I think I want to add a little more terrain right about here, just to kind of add more depth to our painting. Alright, so let's do that. I'm going to add some black here on the side. Now make sure that's black. Right. Tap, 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 tap. Just gonna come this way. I'm just gonna add it right about here. Now, I've been concentrating on overlapping terrains lately. I've noticed that a lot of people aren't doing the basic steps. If you're gonna overlap a terrain, you wanna make sure you do a little bit of a fading effect here on the background. You could do the nebula technique, just a quick burst of a certain color. It could be white. It doesn't necessarily have to be white. It could be any other color, depending on what color scheme you're going for. There it is. Very easy to blend your colors. Alright, so I'm going to stick with the same color scheme that we used up here. So I'm going to use some orange. You know, I only got so many colors here and I can never find them. Alright. A little bit of orange. Now, I've gotten this question asked a lot, guys. Yes, this is my brand, the Spraypaint. It will be available on the website. I'm waiting for a shipment as we speak. It's been a little delayed. Long story short, they're on their way. They should be here sometime next week. So as soon as they are, I will post them on the website. You guys can go check them out. Alright, I'm just gonna tap here a little bit. And just kind of create some of those more natural looking highlights. Notice the way this paint blends. I love that. It gives you very realistic colors, texture. For planets and terrain is really good. Alright, look at that. I'm trying to find a good spot here for me to hold the camera. So this is what we've created so far. I think I want to create some palm trees. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Let me make sure I have enough space here. Bam. Yeah, I think so. I think we can create maybe another little piece of terrain right about here. And then do some overlapping palm trees. What do you guys think? You think it's a great idea? Well, how awesome is that? Let's do it then. Let's add a little more black here. Okay. Tap, 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 tap. Just gonna add right about here. Tap, tap, tap. Very easy to do. I love the way it blends with the colors underneath, so you're able to create some highlights in this manner, or some more natural looking highlights because you're using the colors that are on the ground below. Look at that. Okay, now doing this with just one hand can be a little challenging, but dang gimmit, I'm Spraycasso and I can do it. Hey, look at that, it worked. Alright. I added a little bit of clear coat. And I'm just now kind of blending some of these colors on here. Now notice what I'm doing here. Just adding the effect of water ripples. Yeah. Pretty neat, huh? Look at that. Alright. So I don't know if I want to add some highlights to this vein that you can already see some of the natural blue highlights because we're... Look at that. Look at that. We're not showing negative space, right? Which is a big no-no. We're actually just blending some of these colors underneath. Okay, and giving us some texture. Look at that. Okay, good. Now I do want to create some plant life. Perhaps, let me scoot my chair over. Get some of this black. And my handy dandy sea sponge. Okay, this one's been used. Maybe I'll just use this side. Might want to wait here because this one's still too wet, but this one you might be able to create some pretty good looking plant life here. Look at that. Now the trick to doing this, quick bursts, quick layers, just quick up and down, just, I mean, mostly up. So you tap and then smear upwards, tap upwards. Okay, awesome. I think this is giving us plenty of opportunity to add maybe another piece of terrain right about here. So what I'm gonna do to show you this, once again, I'm gonna use, you know what, I'm gonna use some blue this time. Awesome. I'm gonna do a quick little burst. So I'm gonna start from here and just kind of go upwards. And I'm just gonna add some of this blue here on the background. Now, what are you doing here, Spray? Well, just removing some of that blue there. I want those plants to still be able to show. I'm gonna use a little bit of black. Tap, 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 tap. We're just gonna come over here and place this on top of that. Now I do want it to overlap. Now, as I was saying earlier, I've been doing a couple of these to show people how not only to overlap terrain, this will give you more depth into your painting, a little more realism, and it'll draw the viewer in a little bit more. So I've created some terrains where I do the terrain in the background, and then I'll do a piece of land here, and then I'll offset it, and then I'll offset it again a couple of times, just to kind of show people that the more you offset, the more depth it'll give your painting. As you know, the closer it is to you, the darker and the bigger it'll look, right? So it'll go from right here, right next to you, to eventually, you know, very small in the background. In this case, it's a mountain, so it won't, you know, we can't make any smaller than that. I'm gonna add a little bit of clear coat here on the bottom to do some of the basic water ripple technique there. Now let's take a look at that. You can create some very realistic looking water ripples. Look at that. Man, I tell you, I love spray painting. There's just so many things you can do with spray painting. And it's, you know, really fast for us to do these. Each painting can take, well, anywhere from 5 minutes to 15 minutes. To, of course, you can always do paintings that take a little bit longer because you're adding more techniques, more layers. But you can create a spray painting in just 5 minutes. That's something that can't be said with oils. Not that I'm dissing on oils. No, no. Believe me, I did my share on oils. I painted with oils for many years. And I love oils. Pastels is probably one of my favorite medias. Besides, of course, spray painting. And just going to add a little bit more here. Maybe some plant life here. Remember, the more you add details. Okay, let's take a look at what we have here. I don't want to spend too much time on this painting because here I'm talking about how fast we can make a painting, and I want to take 3 hours making a spray painting. But I do want to add some more plant life. Let's go right here. You know, now this is still wet, so I don't know if I'll... yeah, that'll work. Okay. All right, a little bit here. Bam, bam, bam. I'll kind of overlap that. That looks pretty good. Yeah, I like that. Now, I like the way this happened back here. Look at that. It looks like a sea foam almost. Alright, so now I'm going to use the Spraycasso funnel. What's the funnel? Well, it's this handy dandy rolled up cardboard, plastic, whatever you got. You can just roll it up. Cut the tip of it, good 45-degree angle. This gives you the perfect ability to make fine lines, trees, palm trees. It can be used for many different techniques. All right, so let's add a little bit of black to that. And so the trick is to put the paint right in there. Right, so I do have tutorials on how to make this funnel. So if you guys haven't seen them, go check them out. YouTube, look for Spraycasso. Okay, I'm gonna add maybe, let me see, it's just maybe one here, one here, maybe one back here. Let me add a little bit more paint onto that funnel, just like that. And maybe we can add a tree right about here. Now the more you go over it, the thicker you can make your trees. All right, I like it. Okay, so now I'm going to use a little bit of sea sponge. Just going to put some black down. Here we go. Just going to create a little bit more of grass. And here, I'm going to show you how to create the easy way or the lazy way. It's up to you of creating palm trees. You can use foam brush or the sea sponge like I'm using here. Now the cool thing about sceneries like this, here, hold on, let me add a little bit here, maybe some right there. Tap, tap, tap. You can always create some plant life that's coming in from the outside the frame. So you see, I know where my outline is, and I know that there's going to be some plant life that's going to be coming out from the outer edges. And just like that, I'm going to add some plant life here. Just bam, bam, bam. Oh, sorry, right there. Maybe we can add a little bit more right here. And, well, this tree will go outside of the view. So we'll just add something like that. And man, I think that's good. Yeah, I think that's real good actually. Maybe add a little more black there. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, we got this one right here. I forgot about this one. All right. So let me put the camera right about here. I want you guys to see this. And it's okay to overlap some of the layers that you've created. In nature, everything overlaps, right? So if you stand in front of a tree, wherever you're standing, that's just the place that you can't see past it. So, like here. Now I want to make this tree a little bit thicker, I think. So, get my funnel, my handy dandy funnel, put some paint in there, and we're just gonna go over it and make that tree a little bit thicker. Okay, so here we go. And look at that. Cool. I like it. All right, so I think I'm going to make the base a little bit thicker. The same for this one back here. Look at that. All right, so now we wait for this to dry. Very easy way to make this dry. You just pick it up. Now, we used to use the fire technique. I say used to. I haven't done it in a couple of... Yeah, it's been probably a couple of years. Literally, like 2 years. Basically, the fire technique is really good to help you dry paintings that you want dried a little bit faster. I'm not going to tell you, oh yeah, it's going to cut back, 10 minutes of it drying. No, not even. Not even. It doesn't do that. We mostly used it for... visual effects. People are drawn to fire and light shows, so whenever they would see that, oh, it would never fail. We'd always see them come by right away. Okay, some of this area is still a little wet. Beauty about this paint is they dry really quick. But anyways, spray paints in general. But the moment we would start doing our fire technique, people would start to show up. Now, if you're gonna try the fire technique, I'm not telling you not to do it. Just make sure you do it outside in a well open area. Be careful. People tend to get really close to you when you're spray painting, so make sure you don't catch them or their kids' hairs on fire. I personally recommend don't do it unless you really, really are hurting and you want to attract more people. Then yes, by all means, go for it. But if you can avoid it, just wait a little bit. You can. What you can do is you can put this painting aside and start working on another one. And you don't have to wait a whole lot. I'm thinking maybe a minute, 2 minutes. And then it'll be ready for you to put your stencil on top of that. See, it's pretty much dried. I'm just waiting because I just... see, there you go. Look at that. That's what I get. So just wait a little bit. Then you can put your stencil on top of that. Spray paint it all around. And in fact, you know what? I'm thinking it's okay if I remove some of that paint. So let's just do it. Let's just put it on here. Man, we're going to lose some of this pretty good detail. Well, it's okay. I think I'm going to use something like that. Bam! Alright, so we put our stencil down. I'm going to use black. Where's our black? I have a couple of blacks here. Alright. Now check this out. I know you guys are wondering, like, oh, Spray, what else you got in your handy dandy book or box of tricks? You guys ever seen one of these before? No? Well, what a treat it is for me. You can do it in two ways. You can actually spray this like somewhere like this and tap into it, or you can spray directly on it, and you can do different colors. And then you can just look like a witch doctor. Look at that. But you get to add all sorts of neat little star effects. You can do something similar with toothbrush. A little bit of yellow there. Now what I usually do is, look at that. And you can do different colors. Create pretty neat different techniques. Alright, hold on. I'm going to put the camera here at a weird angle because I need to pick this up. Bam! Look at that. What do you guys think? Do you like it? I know we covered some of the the water ripples, but it's okay. You guys got to see how I created it. And it's a pretty neat little idea if you're going to spray paint live. You can always use a bowl. You don't necessarily have to use the artist palette. If you guys are wondering how you use this thing, you're supposed to put your thumb through here, right? And then you put your colors, and then watch Bob Ross. He's probably better at it, at explaining how that works. But there it is, folks. easy painting. This is a stencil painting. You can use anything from maybe large bowls like this. Create an image, put it on top, and when you remove it, you get little neat effects. Alright crew, well I hope you guys have enjoyed today's tutorial. Until next time, keep those cans shaking.